Hey, this is Anney
and Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I Never Told You, production of iHeartRadio.
And welcome to another happy hour where I'm just going to complain. So it's a wine.
Okay.
It's a wine without my wine. But Anney, are you drinking something?
No. We're kind of on the run. That's all right. We're busy. We've had a lot of technical issues today.
Yeah, we were trying to quickly get things done just in case power goes out or system goes down, systems get updated. So many things are happening, including the fact that TikTok is about to go away. I'm not going to lie. Well, we don't know that for sure. There's a back and forth in this conversation. And by the way, nothing we're talking about right now is currently being sponsored. So things can change. If you want to sponsor us, cool. But anyway, so many things are happening. But one of the things I've talked about many a times is that I do, as much as I hate social media and it is like a time suck, I really enjoy TikTok. The amount of Highland cow videos that I've sent to my partner's sister is joyful. Like, I get to see all of these animals that I don't really interact with, but look so cute in these videos that I'm like, I need this as my, like, uplifting, you know? To be fair, that's also really bad news because we're seeing things about drones constantly. Have you seen this, Anney?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen any drones? That's the other question.
Samantha, I'm going to be real with you. Okay. I've had a really rough past couple days. I have not been looking at the sky. I'm lucky. I'm looking down at my feet and trying not to fall over again. So
we just had Joey on, peek behind the curtains, and they were talking about the fact that they ate sidewalk, is what they said, or asphalt. And Anney comes back with, yeah, me too. And I'm like, what? Are y'all okay? Are y'all okay? Legitimately, are you okay?
I mean, I'm struggling, but I'm doing all right. I look horrible. I should send the picture of my legs to you. It's not pretty.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, she is bruised up and we think it's because of a corgi. It is not Peaches. I remember the first time you came on and we told on Peaches, or I came on. You came on? What the hell is wrong with me? When I came on and we told the tale about Peaches when you were trying to be nice and said cat, and I'm like, don't you mean my dog Peaches?
I was trying to be nice, violence. But then past host, friend of the show, friend in general, Caroline was like, that was definitely Peaches, wasn't it? I was yeah.
Oh, we outed her so quick. Because, I mean, let's just be honest. Peaches is like all over the place sometimes. And she has calmed down a lot, but her hyperness still kicks in pretty hardcore.
I didn't get to tell you this. So Joey and I kind of bonded over our general, like, dogs are fine, but they're not for us.
Yeah.
This corgi beat me up, but it also pulled my pants down. I feel like it was some kind of karma, like the galaxy knew. What'd you say about dogs?
Oh, yeah, the corgi was getting their revenge.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And also peed on my friend, so that
what?
It was a wild time.
I would just like to say that corgi makes Peaches look so calm. But to be fair, I think probably the corgi is younger than Peaches, so
yeah,
probably around that same age. Peaches also peed when she would get excited. Like, this was a very short time. She peed on the couch because she got so excited about someone visiting her that I was like, oh, but it only happened once. Thank goodness. But maybe it's just the excitement. They were just excited. The pulling of the pants down, that's new.
That was funny. I mean, I'm mad about it. And I'm glad my underwear stayed up.
You showed off your underwear. I hope it was cute. Well, it doesn't matter, but was it a Star Wars? Was it a Star Wars one?
I don't have any Star Wars underwear.
What? I guess that'd be weird for us to buy for you.
I know. I don't know how I feel about, like, there's certain prints on underwear I'm kind of, like, iffy about. I think I wouldn't say no if somebody got me them, but I'm not seeking it out myself. But I was so tired because we'd just gotten back from New York.
Yeah.
I was just wearing my pajama pants and they were Star Wars themed.
Okay.
And apparently easy to pull down for a little corgi.
We need to talk about you doing the drawstrings a little tighter or something, or like downgrading your size. I don't know. But yeah, so there's been a lot happening, I think.
Yeah.
the I don't know. I can't grasp because you don't know from your present to the past, and definitely not in the future, like how bad or how chaotic a situation seems or a timeline seems, or if it's just we're noticing it because we're present at this moment. And yeah, the drone thing is odd. And I'm like, should we be concerned? People are saying they see it in Georgia. And I'm like, are people lying to me? Every time I see a video of a celebrity doing something, I'm like, is this AI? And I have been told by my partner who is in the AI industry, it's not that good. Unless they are probably government people who have ways of doing things, deep fakes of things, it's probably you're going to be able to at least tell, especially like normal people cannot access really, really, really good AI for the most part. Watch someone come on and tell me that's a lie. Because I saw a Taylor Swift video and she comes out of the curtains of a hospital and dances with two unknown people. And not that they're now TikTok famous because of this TikTok. And I was like, is that her? Or is this a lookalike? Or is this AI? Like, I literally had to wait because be like, oh, because, you know. And I've heard of Taylor Swift doing nice things. Sure. But I've also seen people do really silly things in with lookalikes, especially on TikTok. TikTok has done a lot about, I'm talking a lot about TikTok, but a lot about like showing lookalikes, especially like the lookalike contest. Apparently, recently there was a Jason Kelsey lookalike contest. And it's just random people deciding they want to do a contest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
From what I understood, Jason Kelsey did show up to his own lookalike contest. Which also makes me sad because I'm like, I don't look like anybody, I don't think.
I don't know.
Do you have a doppelganger? Do you have a celebrity lookalike people point out to you, though?
I get Hillary Swank a lot, and I get Brooke Shields. I'm not saying that's true or not. Those are the two that I get a lot. One time I got Jennifer Aniston and almost died. I was so like, oh my gosh.
Interesting. Maybe I'm like, I get any Asian person because people are microaggressive towards me when it comes to not knowing Asian people. So it doesn't matter who it is. They're like, you're definitely this Asian person. I'm like, I am definitely not. The one closest from what I understand is Sandra Oh. And that's because we have similar mannerisms, quote unquote. And I've not really studied her enough to know this, but I'm like, really? To the point that like you did this exactly like Sandra Oh would do. And I'm like, I don't know how to, because I love Sandra Oh, but I don't think I can get that credit. I'm pretty sure it's just because I'm Korean, which at least they're close on that one, because usually it's just anybody and everybody. I'm like, okay, cool, with any like Asian affiliation. But you know, with this chaotic time and my constant struggle and like, I must be joyful and Christmassy for the love of Jesus so I can seem normal.
The love of Jesus is funny.
Thank
for
you.
that saying.
It really is. It really is. It feels like it's making this time go a lot faster. Or maybe it's just because we're so busy that it feels like it's getting away from me. Does it feel like that to you? As you fall apart at the end of this year?
I'm falling apart. It does feel that way to me. I was discussing this with one of the friends I hung out with, which, by the way, I feel like I always trap her inadvertently into staying way longer than she plans to stay. So if you're listening, apologies. I was just putting on Taylor Swift in the background until you got your lift. But anyway,
is this how like I trapped you by putting on the Star Wars again?
Yeah,
and
but
like, now I have to finish this.
I feel like mine is worse because we start at 3 a.m. and the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie is 3 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm really tired. But yes, it is similar. It's accidental on my part. It is very accidental. And when I've had a couple, we went to some Christmas bars and I'd had a couple drinks, and drunk Anney is so happy to continue the night.
Yeah, you really are.
But
a lot of thoughts and conversation pieces.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, drink responsibly, kids. I do feel that way, and in part because Thanksgiving came so late this year. And then we went to New York, and now Christmas feels like it's just coming so quickly. I also am experiencing, I will be honest with you, I I'm really avoiding a lot of news stuff. I get it through text because I feel like I can handle text a lot better than video or audio. But it feels like that is like barreling down on us as well. So every day feels like, oh yeah, this is one less day I have before this. So yeah, it does feel, and like, you're right. Like, so much of what we deal with now, it makes every day feel surreal. And like, I'm not sure what's quite real or what isn't. And it's just, it feels, I know it sounds kind of silly, but to me, it feels like some kind of crazy dream I've been having since 2020.
Right.
It's just kept going and going and going.
No, yeah, that feels right. I think as we're watching like Germany's government collapse, what does that mean? South Korea impeached their president. What does that mean? And I do, like I've already mentioned once in our episode with Joey recently, that I want to come back and look at feminism today around the world, because things are changing, whether good or bad. And things have, whether it's changing because it's backtracking, which I feel like is what's in the U.S., or is progressing in a different way. Like Mexico is doing some amazing things. Go ahead, Mexico, look at you. But Canada is backtracking. I just found out through Etsy that they're having a huge postal strike. I did not know this. I was like, what? And I'm being told by several senders, hey, just FYI, are you good? Because we don't know. We could be 2 weeks from now, or it could be 3 months from now. Or in like just talking, I was like, really? So the Canadians who are boasting about, oh yeah, America's in a hole, like, y'all are not much better, it sounds like. And I hate it for you. I don't wish like that on anyone. But everybody's going through something, and I'm not really sure what to make of this. It does feel apocalyptic, which I want to come back and talk about women in the apocalypse a little bit. But like, there's so many conversations and so many question marks, and it feels overwhelming. But again, I'm like, I know many a times where I've heard my parents say, oh, it's the end of the world. Mm-hmm. These things have happened, and this is a sign. This is a sign. And of course, that's very religious based, mm-hmm. like Western Christian based, revelation based. And if y'all know, y'all know. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of question marks that I feel like is happening. This is my end of, like, I will title this End of Year Chaos Rambling, because it just feels that way. You know what I mean?
It does. It does. And I had this conversation with same friend who I accidentally trapped into some kind of Taylor Swift early morning watch. Because she was saying that too, of, you know, I bet every generation always has felt that. And I think the difference is, going back to TikTok, we're exposed to it all the time. Mm-hmm. That's not to say, like, during the time of, like, the plague, when you had no idea why that was happening, you had no information, that wasn't scary. It's just different. It feels like we're exposed to so many things and we can't tell if they're real. And it's all happening so quickly that it gets buried before you can even figure out if it was real, and then there's something else to take its place. It does feel very chaotic and unstable right now.
Yeah. And of course, again, I'm also comparing, as you were talking about, our future impending doom, comparing 2016 to now. Like, I'm trying to see, did this feel like this? Did it look like this? And it didn't. It feels worse. Like, I think it was unexpected, and we really clung to the belief that it's not as bad as we think, and now we've experienced the bad, and we're like, oh no, it's going to get worse. But again, like, trying to cling to the hope and the idea that when we are in these moments, that's when we see the biggest revolutions ever. Unfortunately, that means it costs a lot, whether that's lives, whether it's livelihood, whether it's our health. So many things. So there's definite conversations and things that are popping in my head. It feels unending. Also, like, again, with this end of the year holiday ramblings, I know that I'm about to face my family again. Now, Thanksgiving, I didn't have to yet. So I haven't seen them yet, and I haven't talked to them yet. And I know there's going to be a religious point of view and a conversation. I really hope that we don't have to deal with any slight or like, you know what I mean? Like aggressiveness or passive aggressiveness either way. But I'm also anticipating that and like trying to figure out how to handle that. Of course, I have my anti-anxiety medication. I'm very grateful for that. And I will be using them. Don't you worry about me. But it feels wild and it feels unfamiliar at the same time familiar.
Yeah, it does. It feels, I don't know about you, but I assume most people can relate to the fact that I feel like in 2016, I was a very different person. I was younger and we hadn't had the pandemic yet. And I did go through, like, it was bad. Don't get me wrong. But it's weird to be back. And like, that was 8 years ago.
Right.
And it feels like, well, here it is. But now I already know how terribly that went. And here we are.
Here we are again.
Yeah, it just feels very repetitive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And with that, we're going to power through.
Yeah.
Whatever that might mean, whether it means we are going to have a crisis every month and we're going to have to learn to deal with that, whether it's personal or whether it's on a large scale. Hope that we can keep being voices in this conversation. Hoping that we can have a conversation. That's the biggest point. And that's what we need from you listeners. This is our request. I guess this is my request, is that you do make this a conversation. Let us know what's happening with you. Let us know. Are you dealing with these things and how are you dealing with these things? And let us know what you hope for. And we've already sent this out before, but what you hope for our podcast, because we will keep trucking as long as we are allowed to, I guess, whether it's by our own company or by this country or by me not being deported or, you know, Anney not being arrested for being queer, any of those things, which is an unfortunate nightmare that could become reality. And that might sound dramatic, but these are things that go through my head, which keep me up at night sometimes. But with that we can continue to speak out about it and have a conversation about it. So we would love to hear from you about what you need from us in 2025. And we will do our best to try to make it possible.
Yes, we will. And we hope that everyone's doing about as well as they can be.
You're doing great no matter what. If you're here listening, you're doing amazing. One step up. You're awake.
I'm a hot
doing
mess
an activity
right now, so
you're doing an activity, and that's all that counts.
Yes, and we really appreciate you, and we love you all. If you would like to contact us, you can. We would love to hear from you. You can email us at stephanieandmomstuff@iheartmedia.com. You can find us on Twitter and Blue Sky at Mom Stuff Podcast. Yes. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff I Never Told You. We're also on YouTube. We have a TeePublic store and we have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks as always to our super producer Christina, our executive producer Maya, and our contributor Joey.
We love you. Thank you.
Yes. And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is protection by iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.